WeatherScope.
An Arctic blast has you shivering from Canada to the deep south tonight as winter takes a late season swing at much of the nation. Hi, I'm Christina Abernathy. Welcome to this edition of WeatherScope.
And I'm Mike Slidell. Thanks for watching tonight. This continues to be our major story, and it includes snow, rain, even some severe thunderstorms, but we'll begin with a huge drop in temperatures. First, we'll check out the storm, and then we'll give you an idea of where it's still snowing and check those icy wind chills. And you can see the big spin. This storm has had a history of producing severe weather and a lot of snow in the plains. Now it's heading its way into southeastern Canada, but you can see how the clouds are rotating around it. That is opening the door for cold air. Big dip in the jet stream, the northern branch, which we haven't seen a lot of this winter. And that's why a lot of you have enjoyed unusually warm weather. That is if you like warm winter weather in Minneapolis, Fargo, and Minot. But tonight, that is not the case. There's that pressure pattern, lines of equal barometric pressure, the cold high still in Canada, and the circulation around the high in the storm, the old double whammy just pulling that cold air down. You combine the cold air with the high winds, gusts to 40 to 45 miles an hour, and the wind chills in some spots are already 30 to 35 below zero. The wind is blowing and drifting around snow, even in places where it's already stopped snowing, like in Des Moines and those areas, these areas which are very rural. We're still getting reports of drifts of 4 to 8 feet. Look at the temperatures right now. You can see the axis of that Arctic air dropping south. KC, you're at 16, 13 for those of you in the Twin Cities, 19 in Chicago. But again, it's the wind chill, which is always a problem, but which hasn't been much of a problem this winter because it's been unusually mild. 28 below in Fargo, 13 below is your wind chill in Chicago. By tomorrow morning, as you head in on the Eisenhower Edens Expressways, wind chill temperatures will be running 20 to 25 below zero. Take a look at that snowfall history, and you can see where it really came down fast and furious over the weekend. This is where we had the worst drifting. Denver earlier in the weekend, and then this morning for rush hour in Chicagoland. Take a look. It was windy and white in the Windy City as O'Hare Airport had problems. Traffic was delayed many hours. In fact, a lot of you were stranded at O'Hare Airport. Obviously, we can't show you that, but we'll show you the Chicago radar, and you can see that the snow in Chicago is out of the way. But again, the wind continues to be a problem, and that wind is piling up the water in Berrien County here in these areas. We've had already reports of homes which have been damaged by beach erosion and higher than normal waves crashing on shore at 10 to 15 feet. The lake effect snow squalls, the banding effect here, lining up parallel to the wind, coming across the relatively unfrozen lakes. And that pattern will set up downwind from Lake Erie and Lake Ontario. There's our forecast through noon Tuesday. Those of you where you typically see lake effect snow, Get the shovels out, the snow blowers, you're going to need them right on through Wednesday and maybe Thursday as that cold air continues to pour in. More on the northeast, where it's going to be turning colder. Here's Christina.
All right, Mike, here we go into the rest of the northeastern U.S. We've got plenty of wet weather to talk about, and some of this rain is beginning to change over to snow, and we'll continue to see that in some areas here. But the rain has been a bit of a problem in southern New England, getting a bit of a break now, though, not before causing lots of flooding problems here. Also some rain and even some storms embedded within this area of rain moving through New York State, and then we head westward and you're dealing with the snow around Erie, and it's beginning to snow in other parts of southwestern Pennsylvania as well. Look for that in Pittsburgh. To the east, again, things have begun to quiet down for Hartford and Boston, and you can see that that rain is moving on away, but we still see it to the north around Portland and up towards Bangor. So look out for wet weather throughout the northeastern U.S., but here to the west we will see the snow and some of the rain changing over to snow. Strong storms not out of the question either here. Then to the south we go, where we have a bit of precipitation, some snow falling, but it's really the cold temperatures that we're concerned with. We've seen a lot of warm weather recently. A lot of things have begun to bud and bloom, and freeze advisories in effect tonight in all the areas in pink, so protect that tender vegetation if possible. Not good news to have temperatures this cold at this point in the season. Time now to take a look at what's going on in the west. Mike?
And those of you in California get another chance to brag about your sunny, warm weather. Meanwhile, the Pacific Northwest lives up to its rainy reputation today. The Space Needle pierced the clouds hanging over Seattle on this Monday. You've had a wet day across the area with a light but steady rain falling, about a half an inch at the SeaTac airport. Most of that now is out of the way, but as you can see on the satellite loop, more rain is coming on in. We'll show you what's going on, check the radars, and then show you the good stuff in California. Here's our next system due in late tomorrow into Wednesday morning. Still some leftover clouds, rain and snow in the northwest, moving into the northern Rockies. This is not going to be a serious weather problem. And again, the El Nino pattern is kind of broken down, so we don't have a lot of moisture to deal with, or a very strong southern branch into California. So as a result, the weather will be just glorious. Bit of an offshore flow, a bit breezy below the passes and canyons in the Southland tomorrow, and temperatures again between 75 and 80 degrees for most of you. So a nice payback after a very rough winter so far, especially the past couple months. Few showers in the northwest. Snow levels now running about 3,500 feet in the Washington Cascades. The bulk of the moisture moves east. You'll get somewhat of a break tomorrow. Then the next rain event moves in tomorrow night and Wednesday morning, as I mentioned. Some snowfall, nothing serious, nothing to be concerned with, except if you're traveling, for instance, Snoqualmie Pass, look out for some slippery roadways. As I mentioned, a change in the jet stream, meaning better weather for California, but back east, maybe not better weather. Right, Christina?
Well, that's right, Mike. We're going to see a change in our overall pattern. What we've been dealing with is an El Nino pattern for much of this winter, where we see the southern branch of the jet stream as the dominant branch, and that's the dominant storm track as well. What we're going to see is a change in that, the northern branch taking over, and that's going to allow some very cold air to spill into the eastern U.S., the coldest air we've seen in quite some time, while the southern U.S. is going to be fairly dry late Wednesday. So a complete reversal really from what we've been seeing recently, with a pattern more representative of what we would expect to see in a non-El Nino year. Look at the forecast, the details for that. Into the northeast we go, and wind will continue here in southern New England. You'll wake up to 40s, but to your west, the colder air has moved in, and 20s to start your day. Lake effect snows. You can see it in the favored areas here. Bundle up in Atlanta, 28 chilly degrees for you. We should see plenty of sunshine across the southeastern U.S., but it is going to be quite cold. It's going to be even colder in Minneapolis, 2 below. So you'll definitely need the winter coat as you head out. And finally to the west, some clouds here to the north, but plenty of sunshine. A nice way to start your Tuesday in San Diego at 52 degrees. Temperatures are going to be quite cold, though, across the country overnight, dropping well below zero here. And we're going to watch the northeastern U.S. and Great Lakes region for snow and windy conditions as we head through the day on your Tuesday. Pretty quiet for much of the south, but we do begin to see a bit of snow moving out into the plain states as well. As far as snowfall and rainfall amounts, heaviest amounts of rain, southern New England, and heaviest amounts of snow in those lake effect favored areas. And take a look at these high temperatures on Tuesday. Not very warm through the upper Midwest and even into the deep south, highs only in the 40s, and that's cooler than we've seen recently, so get ready for chilly air.
And thunderstorms affected the northeast today with that cold front. Now the cold air is coming in. Question is, will those rain showers still be around for the early morning ride into work in Boston, New York, and Philly?
We'll let you know on TravelWise after your local